So it seems though as people cannot hear you, Josh. That is what I've been told anyway. So I mean,
hello and welcome to the main event, the finale of the North American All-Stars tournament.
Were you actually in fact muted? I mean, okay, well, perfectly fine. No, that's great. Thank you so much, Sideshow. So obviously we cannot hear Sideshow right now, but this is the main event. Like you just said, this is where the pro teams really battle it out for all the glory and all the fun matches. So, I mean, maybe we should just go straight into the prize pool breakdown for this match while Sideshow irons out some of his issues. If we take a look at what's on the line here for this final All-Star match of the weekend, you can clearly see that it is, in fact, money. Real money on the line. This is actually have some incentive for the players to really try and give us some good Overwatch this weekend. This is what we want to see. Some of these great players coming together. As you can see, $75,000 for the winning team. So that rounds out to about $7,500 per player on the winning roster, and that's always a nice bonus, you know, wrapping up this season. We have, of course, an off season coming up, but you know, getting a $7,500 could be nice for what you plan to spend it on in the off season. I personally would buy a ton of Overwatch League tokens because, of course, we have new Reinhardt and the D.Va skins. So, I mean, Josh, if you had to pick one of those two skins, do you have a favorite, perhaps?
I definitely think the Reinhardt skin is incredible.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, we experienced earlier on the main tank difference between me and you, but that was the mediocre Overwatch that we started out the day with. This is all about the big guns coming out. I can't believe that Linksa just walked away with $15,000 and then started spending it already in the interview. I hope perhaps that'll happen again in our All-Star game.
That's swag.
Too.
That's alpha.
It really is. Let's take a look at our draft results then, because unlike in previous years where we had a Team Atlantic and a Team Pacific, this time Coach Kuki, the leader of Team D.Va, drafted his team from the North American All-Stars. So let's take a look at this. He started out with Space, went for Kariv, KSP, a lot of former LA Valiant players here, right, reinforced.
Yes, indeed. I mean, if you just take a look at this roster, in fact, you can recognize Kariv, of course, in Space being on this roster as well. This is quite a nice roster, actually, when you take a look at it. Of course, you have Benbest in there as well, and you have Space that forms like a nice tank line. You have Moth as well from the San Francisco Shock, obviously one of the best main supports in the league. Shockwave, a bit of an up-and-comer in the league, you have to say, on the Vancouver Titans roster. I like what I saw from him, so this is a scary roster. And of course, you have McGravy, the Dennis Hawelka Award winner, so it's going to be a nice team to look out for.
I love the analysis of that draft. Let's take a look over at Team Reinhardt and what KDG, the head coach of Philadelphia Fusion, was able to put together. Because my, oh my, it's the 7th man of the year, at least according to the Platchat Awards. It's Super, the Reinhardt specialist on Team Reinhardt that started out. That seems very fitting.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems very fitting indeed. I mean, he probably picked Super knowing that. But I mean, if you take a look at this tank line, Joshua, I think that this is one of the scariest tank teams Overwatch has ever seen. I think, analyze the tank players.
I think you're saying that because they have the Swede Nevix on the roster, aren't you? It's just that Swedish
I think that's
bias.
a dead meme at this point. I feel like I've taken that too far. You know, there's probably some Overwatch League player mauling at me right now, like, oh, what do you always talk about Nevix? Like, whatever. He's pretty good at the game. Pretty good at the game. But well, let's take a look at the game modes.
Yeah, let's take a look at those game modes because we're playing different things depending on the maps. We're going to start out with some standard competitive 6v6. That's the same stuff that you've been watching all season long as your eyes have been taped open and attached to the screen on Blizzard World. That's where you're going to want to be starting out really strong, because when we head into map 2, that's Rialto, and each team is going to pick their opponent's composition. So that has some possibility to get a bit spicy, honestly, Johnny.
Yeah, of course, just picking the enemy opponent's lineup, that means that you can get some wonky compositions across the board, so I'm really looking forward to that one.
And map 3, you wouldn't be allowed to play because it's everyone's favorite, Tiny Overwatch on Lijiang Tower. Well. And here's our starters for Team D.Va as well. This is Coach Kuki's team. And my, oh my, we got the Hydration and McGravy tank line.
Yeah, quite curious. I mean, what do you aim to play here? With Hydration, of course, he's shown that he has improved on the Winston in my regard, or in my opinion in a way, but then also the Wrecking Ball he might bring out. Hydration, Reinhardt, we'll have to see. What is certain is that KSP and Shockwave is going to form a ridiculously scary hit scan duo, so I'm looking forward to see more of that.
Yeah, that's absolutely powerful stuff if they want to run any kind of double sniper comps. Kariv, of course, and Moth as well, a guy that, you know, has, for once in his career, had to dip a little bit onto the bench this season, but comes in as all-stars. Very well deserved. Now, Reinforcers, the Reinhardt specialist. Give me some analysis of this. Do you think Super's going to be rolling out on the old rectangle man himself?
Yeah, I mean, it's everyone's favorite hero. Reinhardt is, of course, you know, superior players across the board. So Super here in the lineup. Of course, he has to bring out the big hammer and swing it with Poko on the off-tank role. That's going to help him a lot. There's just so much support across the board with this lineup. You have Jecse and Dogman in the support line as well to really help Super have that big impact on the main tank role. So I think this is a solid starting roster for both teams, actually. And I think we're going to get off to a good start on Blizzard World.
Yeah, Super looks hyped, actually. I'm just taking a look at his little cam at the bottom there. He's just got out of quarantine as well. He's kind of gearing up for those grand finals. There's Shock, the Philadelphia Fusion, you know, they're in that kind of headspace where they're preparing their absolute pinnacle performances of the season. So I'm excited to see what we've got coming up for us here on Blizzard World.
Yeah, I mean, do you think that ping is like going to affect their performance here in this matchup? Because, I mean, I've played Reinhardt on high ping a few times. I can see that actually affecting Super's performance here and maybe level out the Reinhardt duel if he takes on here against Hydration. We'll have to see what heroes come out, of course. Blizzard World known for playing more of these Reinhardt compositions. Last year was a lot of goats we saw, but initial look when they're in spawn, which is so very unreliable, we are seeing the Super Wrecking Ball with the Poko reset. Probably not what we're going to see here, Josh.
Hey, I am all for it. I think that would be spectacular. I think we can see a huge amount of varied compositions. Remember, everybody, that there is an enormous amount of money on the line here. There is $75,000 as we go into our first pause, as Soon calls for that. Just wants to perhaps communicate some more strategies to the team as he dips on out of there. But remember, there is a ridiculous amount of money on the line here. There is $7,500 per person for each of the players on these teams. So it's something where, okay, it's a little bit more fun than your regular season games where you're desperately trying to win. But at the end of the day, Johnny, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, that's a ton of money. I mean, $7,500, you could do so many things with that. You could buy Coke Energy, you could buy Overwatch
Pringles
League
Wavy.
tokens here, Pringles Wavy, of
What
course, as well.
Do we have?
What other sponsors do we have?
State Farm Insurance.
Okay, no need.
You can buy a lot of insurance with that money.
I tried, but they've unpaused now, so we will actually get into the game. Hopefully some people enjoy that segment, of course, but this is going to be quite curious, because we haven't seen the Blizzard World in a long time, it feels like. Of course, the recent map pool changes, etc. So it's going to be fun to see if they bring out some spice, maybe some unannounced heroes here. Double hit scan on the side of Team D.Va for the defense here. And meanwhile, we're seeing this Wrecking Ball actually picked for Super on Team Reinhardt.
I love it. My eyes are on Danteh as well. Oh, KSP! Immediately, the first kill, getting revenge for his slightly underwhelming performance in the Widowmaker 1v1. Immediately takes down Soon, gets his revenge, and starts us off with a slight bit of an advantage for Team D.Va on the defense.
Yeah, so I mean, Team Reinhardt here, they're playing the Wrecking Ball, and you really want to get closer to the point, so KSP, another hit on the shoot, and they've already wasted the Resurrection. So KSP with another one in the air! What is that?
He's absolutely popping off! Maybe he feels like he didn't quite get the value he was expecting from that Widowmaker 1v1 tournament, and he has immediately come out and dunked on Soon, the new blood coming up strong here in the All-Stars match. He won't have a full chance to win $15,000, but the money will be pretty good if he can win Blizzard World and get off to a good start. Look at Danteh all the way behind as well, Johnny.
Yeah, I mean, Danteh is going to try to sneak into the back here and maybe go with Soon and Super. Super swapping over to the Winston, actually. So obviously they want to dive closer to the point, which is going to be quite difficult. Poko wants to use his defense matrix to maybe try to zone Super in, and here comes Danteh in the back line, trying to capitalize here and get KSP.
He's going on to him and changes target now over to Moth, who was just able to dip outside of that. Shockwave on the high ground, and they have infosight, so they know exactly where Danteh is when he tries to make these small moves around the map. But a great pulse bomb stick as hydration falls, and they manage to take the tank down.
And this is exactly what you want to see from Team Reinhardt here. Obviously swapped over to these dive heroes and successfully did so. Before Team D.Va were able to get these support ultimates up, you can see now Kariv getting that Transcendence and Moth getting that Valkyrie as well with the Mercy. But they weren't able to get those out in time, and that's going to be an easy point A for Team Reinhardt here on Blizzard World.
Jonathan, talk to me a little bit about these team compositions, because it's the kind of stuff we actually might see in the playoffs.
My ultimate is ready. Go. I'll be watching over you.
Yeah, I mean, you're actually breaking up for me here, Josh, so I don't know if it's only you or if it's me as well, but you asked me for what this composition looks like, and I mean, they're playing the Roadhog and the Hanzo here with the Ashe, so they are looking for some of these picks and trying to win these battles early before Team Reinhardt can really engage. We see Danteh go in there, get a nice pick onto McGravy, and from her out, I mean, Kariv is going to pop the Transcendence as well.
Yeah, pretty nice. Kariv with his trance. He's going to be able to stabilize a little bit, but Hydration dies to the self-destruct. And no Transcendence in the world is going to be able to save you from that. With Hydration down, that's a key ultimate off the board as well. And soon's EMP. He gets the hack. No need for the EMP onto McGravy. There's no one really there to be able to finish him off. And Super actually is the casualty.
Oh, there we go. I mean, Shockwave and KSP getting picks here. This is really what you want to see from Team D.Va's composition here. You want to try to get these picks and then win the composition before Team Reinhardt are able to engage. KSP with another shot onto Soon. Like, KSP is just popping off when it matters here in the All-Star match. Already racking up the kills on Ashe.
I love your statement, when it matters. Yep. He was also turning up incredibly in the regular season as well. I believe he finished the season with the most final blows of any player. Could be wrong on that. Someone should fact check me, but that's what my memory branks say. As Soon is looking for value out of this EMP coming around. He surely wants to try and get this onto the tank line.
There it is. That's sick, a great EMP. Yeah, absolutely.
Going for the bit of a default hack there onto Moth as well as Super. Bionade not quite able to help with the follow-up. And KSP resurrected in this fight. Team D.Va is still going to be able to fight here, Johnny.
Yeah, I mean, and now you're able to touch the cart as well. Maybe make some room for Shockwave on this Hanzo to try and get more of these kills. You can see it's hard for Team Reinhardt to really engage. I mean, you drop the sound barrier there from Jecse. Super gets pushed away with the whole hog coming up from McGravy. Did they actually kept the point?
Oh.
No! Is that a C9? Oh no, you hate to see it.
Listen, Super, he puts it in the chat. C9, I laugh, lol. And I'm sure the people in the YouTube chat as well are going to be commenting that they never would dare to do that in their ranked games. Our audience would never see C9 in their lives. These foolish pros. But yeah, that's one of those unfortunate ones. Team Reinhardt, they just steal that one away. Let's take a look at the replay. Live action as Hydration drops down to the point. Tries to get his little tippy toes on there, but he just can't quite manage to stay alive.
Yeah, so Kariv was actually trying to heal him, but he just missed the biotic grenade, so couldn't really heal up Hydration fully. It's going to be interesting to see what Team Reinhardt does here, because they're playing a dive composition on point C. Generally pretty hard to execute, but they're just going to dive in here. Super goes down early, but the Coalescence is out.
A pulse bomb, fantastic onto Hydration there, who even through his hack had been able to take down Super. But Moth with the clutch resurrect, as we've seen so many times from him already in this series. Dogman attempting to get away here from Hydration, who's already cemented himself as a barrier in that front line. And a tank partner, McGravy, getting a hook over on the other side of the map. Takes down Soon. That's going to reset the aggression from Team Reinhardt.
Wow.
What another little hook there. McGravy popping off. He's already won one award today. He wants some cash to be able to follow up on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we got player of the match honors coming out as well, so I mean, McGravy really going for that. It's an interesting tank line here, right, Josh? Because you're playing actually the Sigma. It's a bit of a main tank with that barrier, and then you have McGravy on this Roadhog trying to get some of these picks, and it's going to be very difficult for Team Reinhardt to really jump in and capitalize on top of that tank line. But here comes the self-destruct in.
Uh-oh, how did Moth end up getting hit by that? A beautiful placing on the bomb coming out from Poko. And Kariv has used his nano boost on McGravy. He's going to be so hard to take down in the front line, but they don't worry about the front line. Straight into the back goes Danteh, syncing up with Super for all of these kills. KSP pressured, taken down with headshots, and the pulse bomb. Yeah, you're not going to be able to get the res off that easily. KSP, he does get resurrected, but they haven't got any position on the point. An EMP comes through to solidify the kill on a Shockwave, and soon mops up these targets as Team D.Va are in full stall territory now, with still 1 minute and 30 seconds in the time bank.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be so hard. Moth as well, not really getting the resurrection off as well. Shockwave has this EMP, but there's no real follow-up. Kariv is going to try to stall out the point, but he goes down as well, and that is going to be it for Team Reinhardt. 1 minute 26 seconds left here on the time after capping point C.
Let's take a listen to the Team Reinhardt comms. They must be ecstatic.
Yeah, I'm fine with either.
Let's go mid. Easy.
Okay.
They were speechless. They couldn't believe that they'd done it.
I love how over dramatized you are about it as well. I just didn't say anything. It did look like Jecse was having a blast. I mean, his web camera was, you know, having a good old time as well. I mean, what can you really say about this? I really do enjoy what I'm seeing from Team Reinhardt here, because they're playing the dive composition with the Lucio and the Moira, right? And they really just pushed into spawn. They activated the Primal Rage and the Soundbear as well, and really just going all in. Because when you play a composition like this, you cannot really sit back and then just slowly take space and try to get one kill after another. You really just have to go all in. And that's exactly what Team Reinhardt did here. So obviously going with a pretty straightforward and simple game plan, but it works wonders, and they're able to have 1 minute and 26 seconds.
Look at this sneaky little play. They've crouched all the way around here, so there's no way that they've heard any footsteps or seen them. And Super and Soon, the sneaky little devils, they're about to catch them completely unawares.
No.
They allow them to go all the way up and underneath. A hack attempted to come out there in the middle of it. It's cancelled, but Moth is the first casualty. Jecse is hacked up here, and they're taking a little bit of damage. Spawn advantage, of course, massively in favor of Team D.Va, but that's not going to help you if you don't get a single pick. Team Reinhardt with a beautifully sneaky little positioning advantage there for the first fight. It's wonderful. I love to see it.
Yeah, and I mean, it throws Team D.Va off their game, because now they have to think twice before every engagement. Hey, where are they? Position, etc. And you build up some nice ultimate bank here for Team Reinhardt as well. Obviously, getting that coalescence sub is going to be important. Dogman has about a 10% advantage. Danteh as well with the EMP. But now, Team D.Va with this Reaper, they are looking to brawl and capitalize on some of these dives from Team Reinhardt.
Yeah. Okay, let's take a look. Team Reinhardt coming forwards. A great stick from Soon, but the fade, that one isn't quite gonna land. Coalescence sword to keep everybody alive. Poko is just tanking things on the point here. Team D.Va, they get their D.Va D-Mech. McGravy's out of the fight, and Team D.Va, they are falling to pieces. Team Reinhardt didn't even have to invest Danteh's EMP in that fight. And with 2.5 minutes going to be left for the next engagement, I think this all comes down to Shockwave here. How much value can they get from that EMP, Jonathan? What should they be doing?
Yeah, I mean, you need to get that EMP out, and then you have Kariv as well with this Coalescence, which is going to up the tempo quite a bit of the next fight coming up. You have to be wary of Danteh's EMP yourself, so it's going to be a game of wits here as we draw closer to this fight. You can see Danteh already positioned here. Might be forced back here. He's not invisible anymore. Might be forced to relocate. He's actually just going to drop the EMP, and it's an engagement from Team Reinhardt.
Yeah, here's an engagement. EMP, Shockwave popped his, and it's a total wipe here. Great attack. And what's that time? Oh, it's 4 p.m. So thank you very much to Coke Energy and to you, the fans, for participating in the Coke Energy Hour. Stay tuned next week during the Grand Finals weekend for some more chances to earn 3 times on the Overwatch League tokens, courtesy of Coke Energy. Hope you guys all enjoyed that. And honestly, Jonathan, there can't be a better skin to utilize all of those extra Overwatch League tokens than the all-star skins that we see in front of us right now. They're ridiculous. They're so good.
Yeah, I mean, these are great, and I love what the game developers did with these skins as well, especially the Reinhardt skin, like we talked about, and the D.Va skin as well. So, yeah, I really enjoyed those skins, and now we'll see soon into the backline, dropping the pulse bomb. Not really able to capitalize on it, those.
No, not quite. Super with a Primal Rage, seeing what value they can get out of this. Dogman's close to his Coalescence as well. Super, is he really going to be able to bully someone around here? KSP knocked miles in, but able to use his Wraith form to be able to escape. Hydration hacked up. He's not going to be able to use his Primal. Push forwards into the rest of the team, and now he's got the opportunity.
Oh, that's a beautiful dive as well, coming in from Team D.Va here. Hydration activating the Primal Rage. It's a bit of a chaos. It's all over the place. We're seeing double Primal Rage come out. Super on the Winston as well. Usually we see on the Reinhardt, but now it's on the Winston. And we're seeing this Tracer really going back and forth as well. Soon dropping the pulse bomb, and that's what you love to see from Soon. He does it so often and so well.
Yeah, that is a beautiful little pulse bomb there to finish off the fight. Danteh as well utilized his EMP to be able to completely clean up. But honestly, not really required when Soon's hitting stuff like that. The punish as well is just so good.
They're just going in!
All the way to the spawn!
They're going so deep. This is ridiculous. Shockwave going to drop the EMP and counter here as well. And we see KSP trying to clean this up. I mean, Team Reinhardt, did they overextend their sideshow? I mean, that was a bit too far, perhaps. I mean, I love going in, but that was a bit too much, perhaps.
It was aggressive, but at the end of the day, they forced out Shockwave's EMP just to stop the spawn camp. So Team Reinhardt can still reset here. They've got a Coalescence for the next fight. They're ahead when it comes to the Sound Barrier charge as well. So I would say, you know, maybe worth, especially when you're trying to put on a bit of a show.
justified.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I do. That's actually my speciality, Jonathan, is that I feed relentlessly and then come up with post-fact rationalizations of why I did what I did. You'll see that in the VOD reviews I do, the talent takedown later on.
Oh, I can't wait for that. That's going to be great.
KSP a little too deep there, hacked up as well by the look of it. He goes down, not able to pop the Death Blossom, and Danteh, he's already got another EMP. He used his in 2 fights previous, but he's already back on the board. This guy is a genuine freak. Former player for the San Francisco Shock, of course, and recently, I don't know whether you saw this, Jonathan, made 4,700 on the ladder playing Echo.
That's pretty impressive. I mean, 4,700? I mean, that has to be like the #1 slot, right?
Yeah, oh yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
I've never been, I don't know about you, but I've never been 4,700. I mean, that's just ridiculously
I might have been
high.
once, I can't really remember, I'm not sure.
All right, well, I mean, you have played for 2 Overwatch League teams, I haven't, so I would look to you for advice.
Sound barrier used here from Team D.Va as Danteh used his EMP. So nice reactions coming out here from Moth. Oh, and great reactions coming out from McGravy as well. Eating up the pulse bomb. These things have been so pivotal in previous fights. And now Team D.Va can go on the aggressive. Hydration, McGravy taking all of this space that has been relinquished towards them. And the first pick does go their way. The tank line, the coalescence, all comes together to be able to net Team D.Va this point.
Yeah, and I think the big difference here as well, right, is that when you're playing this Reaper composition, like Team D.Va, they're not really diving. They're just kind of playing on top of the payload, and then they extend a bit to the left or to the right, depending on where the opponents are. But they're just playing around this payload, KSP getting insane value, dropping the Death Blossom as well. That's going to secure point B. So they're not really forcing themselves to dive, and they're not really forcing their own unforced errors in that regard. It's Team Reinhardt trying to have to navigate around KSP's Reaper, and so far it's not looking too promising on the defense.
Yeah, that's the interesting strategical difference, right? The Reaper versus the Tracer. And that kill on Danteh, it's actually kind of pivotal because Team D.Va need this card to progress as fast as humanly possible. If Team Reinhardt just hold them out and slow down the objective here, then they're going to get into a situation where if this goes to overtime, Team Reinhardt are guaranteed at minimum a draw. Here comes the engage on Shockwave. EMP catches the backline. Danteh only at 99%, but he's going to be able to get his EMP thanks to a clutch soundbite from Jecse. The counter EMP comes out, catches Moth with 91%. Can anyone finish him? They can. Super takes him down.
No!
And the Tetleys dunked in the face of Moth. My God, man. Have some mercy for your teammate.
Oh lordy, I mean that's going to be so punishing come the Grand Finals event too, right? You don't want any bad blood within the team, but Super, no hesitation, Sideshow.
Absolutely disgusting, honestly, but Super goes down for it. Some kind of karmic influence is alive and well in the world. McGravy might get demeched for this, but Moth has invested his sound barrier here, and they are using that advantage perfectly.
I mean, Moth with the double kill with the boop as well. I mean, this is a madman. He hasn't seen a ton of playtime. Obviously, he has played a lot for San Francisco Shock this season, but he's competing with Violet and Twilight on the roster. But now, I mean, his Lucio is just insane. It's really showing it here. 30 seconds on the timer, Sideshow.
They've got to cut this.
Team D.Va finish the map?
They've got to get it outside of overtime, or this is a draw, a best case scenario for them. Shockwave with the EMP. He's going to start moving forwards, currently way back in his own team's backline. I think they're worried about Danteh going for something aggressive, but they've got to be aware of the clock here. 13 seconds left. Oh, and the stick. Kind of beautiful, but Wraithform is going to be able to come out. Shockwave, he's currently hacked up, but Moth wins a 1v1 in the backlines. Soon goes down, the EMP comes out, and so many players are dead, but it's not going to matter. Overtime, it's already there. It was too little, it was too late. Jecse desperately keeping the point alive, but surely Team D.Va have got this. But at the end of the day, Super and Poko, they've done their job, just delaying things.
Can they turn it around and drop the sound barrier? Moth is dropping the sound barrier as well. The respawns are coming in. Can they really turn it around here? Super is 4% away from getting the fireball range as well. They don't really have any ultimates. Shockwave coming in on the Echo as well, trying to just fend the opponents off and try to get this payload across the finish line. This is nuts, and Poko is the last man to contest soon on the Tracer. Is he able to get there in time? Or is that just going to be it? That's going to be it. Team D.Va end up capping Blizzard World, and we're going to overtime with Team Reinhardt having the opportunity to win this match.
Gotta watch the squares. They might do some cornball strategies.
I think they try spawn cam, so...
Yeah, but they're trash, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
How do I change my I need healing? I keep on like uncloaking because I'm clicking the wrong button. What's annoying?
I absolutely love getting to listen into the communications. It is fantastic. You can hear that they're actually hyped up there as well. That was a little fragment of a couple of different teams' compositions there. I think I heard Danteh's voice in the middle of that, and then I think possibly Jecse's as well. They're chatting to each other.
No punches. I mean, he just straight up told enemy team that they're trash. Like, who does that? Maybe I should have done that in the talent takedown. Maybe I didn't do that enough.
I mean, he's a genuine risk here of mentally booming his teammate Moth. That's high risk, high reward coming into the playoffs. Anyway, let's take a look at this situation here, because this is some fairly decent high-level Overwatch that we're witnessing here between our All-Stars, because there's money on the line. And this first map, it is crucial, because map 3 is Tiny Overwatch, and Lord knows what's going to happen there. So, Team Reinhardt desperately wants this victory. They were looking out for cornball strategies, I think I heard them say, but nothing of the such.
No, I mean, Team D.Va, they're sitting back here. I think both teams here really just want to build up these ultimates. You're probably only going to have one real fight here. So Coalescence is obviously a priority to get those up in time. You don't really want to poke up on. Danteh already has 23% here on the EMP. So if he can get that in time, that's going to be massive for Team Reinhardt.
Team D.Va desperately has to hold on. Our fourth map, should this be a draw, is absolute chaos. So I'm really hoping for a draw here. Get your telescopes out, everybody. Danteh already at 50%, though this EMP is probably going to be online very early on. KSP already hacked, but I don't think there's anyone that can really follow up on that. Shockwave as well, just trying to spam from the high ground. It's Danteh, though, and his ult charge that I am keeping my eyes on here, because already at 80%, and they're going on to Shockwave.
Oh, wow.
They've identified him, probably taken out his Translocator as well, and that's an enormous first pick.
I mean, that's a massive pick from Super coming in. Just diving onto the point, really, and just taking charge there. Probably had the call out, as you said. Danteh now going to drop the EMP, and I mean, they're looking to close this Blizzard War map out.
Yeah, that EMP is absolutely enormous. So difficult for Team D.Va to be able to come back in. They do have a slightly earlier sound barrier, but a better one from Team Jecse, as they're able to demech McGravy in the middle of it. And Team Reinhardt, they're flooding forward. Super with the Primal Rage. He doesn't even really need it. We're going to pull it out for style points, as the Death Blossom goes through to no success, and Team Reinhardt, they take the victory on Blizzard World, our first map in the North American All-Stars game. Super coming out and leading his team to an early victory here. Whoa, what a performance, Jonathan.
Yeah, and I mean, they played this dive strategy with the Lucian Moira. It really felt like it was hard for Team D.Va to adapt early to that composition. Obviously, they came out and they tried to play the Sigma with the Roadhog and double sniper composition. And it just was so easy for Team Reinhardt to really dive on top of them. And you saw no fear whatsoever in dive. Super went deep with the Winston, and then you have the Moira healing and the Lucio speed boost as well. So no hesitation from Team Reinhardt on our first map, Blizzard World.
Yeah, very decisive, clean engages there coming out from Team Reinhardt. And Coach KDG, I think, is going to be particularly proud of this as well. Next map, remember, the teams are going to be able to choose their opponent's compositions. So that sounds incredibly exciting, and we will see you after the break.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Cheez-It Grooves. Deep flavor, deep crunch. It's a mind crunch. The Overwatch League is brought to you by HyperX. Unleash your style, unleash your fury with HyperX Fury Memory. And by Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Tune in to Grand Finals weekend starting Thursday, October 8th. The Watchpoint pre-show starts at 3:30 a.m. Pacific time. The final 4 teams face off for eternal glory and $1.5 million. And it seems like 2 teams have already started the trash talk early. Let's take a listen.
The Shanghai Dragons have done it. I cannot believe what we have witnessed. The reverse sweep.
The San Francisco Shock have done it. 2 championships in the monthly tournaments. The Countdown Cup is theirs.
Well, I feel like the big match everyone's wanted to see so far is us versus Shanghai.
전 시즌 우승자고 지금 현재 북미에서 가장 센 걸로 보이는 쇼크랑 결승하는 게 가장 재밌을 것 같아요.
That's kind of the big talk of the league is who would win between these two.
소문이 자자한 만큼 저희가 경기를 보고 하는데 정말 잘하더라고요. 샌프란시스코 쇼크가. 근데 아직 한 번도 붙어보지도 못했고 그러니까 사실 긴장이 좀.
Oh, what is this?
This team is all about proving that they are the best team in the world.
They've got an incredibly talented lineup. They're super versatile. All their positions are top tier, so it'll definitely be a tough matchup.
정말 많이 준비를 해오셔야 될 것 같아요. 저희 쪽은 정말로 많은 준비와 많은 연습과 어떻게 해서든 이기기 위해서 최선을 다할 것이기 때문에 쇼크도 많이 긴장하고 오셨으면 좋겠습니다.
I think it was Moon, the coach of Shanghai, who said that if NA teams came to the APAC region, they would get slapped around. And I don't really like that too much.
제가 이제 그 카운트다운 컵 북미 지역 쪽을 이제 플레이오프부터 다 봤었는데 뭔가 이제 제 개인적인 의견으로는 이제 쇼크가 이제 퓨전을 잡은 게 약간 운이 좋았지 않았나 싶어서 이제
그냥 솔직하게 말해서 객관적으로 상하이도 잘하는 팀이라 생각합니다. 그래도 저희가 이기지 않을까요? 이거 이제 쓰인다고.
만약에 저희가 이제 그랜드 파이널에서 쇼크를 만나게 된다면 이제 저희 일단 왜냐하면 저희가 경기를 그냥 완전 자주 보진 않는데
이길 확률은 당연히 90% 이상이라고 보고요.
당연히 저희 팀이라고 말할 수 있고 왜냐하면은 저희 팀이 좀 상대를 알면 알수록 좀 더 잘해지기 때문에 그냥 플레이오프가 진행되면 진행될수록 좀 저희가 유리할 것 같습니다.
아마도 우리 상하이 드래곤즈가 4대 0으로 이기지 않을까.
I have never once ever playing a game have I gone into it thinking that I'm gonna lose. So I wouldn't change that now.
샌프란시스코 쇼크 팀한테 한마디 하자면 어떤 전략을 짜오고 어떤 선수를 내보내든 우리 상하이 드래곤즈에게는 절대 안 될 것입니다.
Any messages? Well, they said that NA teams would get slapped around if they came, and we'll see what happens, Shanghai. We'll see what happens.
Spicy words there from our #1 teams from both of the respective regions. Welcome back to the North American All-Stars match. We are headed into map 2. I'm Sacho. With me is Reinforced. We've unshackled him from the desk so that he can provide some color commentary. Have you been enjoying it so far?
Oh, I mean, that previous map was honestly just chaos. I mean, there were dives back and forth, double Sombra coming out. We saw some Reaper, we saw some Tracer. It's so chaotic. Like, how do you keep track of everything, Sideshow? I have the time on the desk. I can break it down. You know, I can really analyze, get into the details. This is just back and forth. It's just chaos.
I mean, I like to say it takes more skill, but you know, don't worry, you'll grow into it. It's perfectly fine. But there's even more chaos
I mean,
coming.
it's very noticeable when you listen to someone like Uber and then you listen to you. So I can certainly tell.
Absolutely true. We're heading into map 2, and map 2 has got even more chaos coming up, Jonathan, because that was our first map, our appetizer, our amuse-bouche to kind of set the scene. Now, the second game mode is the opponents getting to pick their heroes for both of the teams. And we're playing on Rialto here. Now, we actually saw Rialto a little earlier on in the All-Stars map. I can't remember exactly what happened there. I just remember I dominated on D.Va. So let's take a look at what the Team D.Va required heroes are. It's going to be a Reinhardt, Zarya, Genji, Widowmaker. What do you make of this, Jonathan?
I mean, this is a great lineup. Like, what did Team Reinhardt think here? Like, Genji, Widowmaker, Reinhardt, Zarya, Luciana. This is a fantastic lineup of heroes.
Well,
like, I would love to play this composition.
Yeah, I'm sure you absolutely would. Let's take a look at the Team D.Va starters as well then, because we've got Benjamin Dulafe. I'm sure I utterly mispronounced that, but he's the best of the Bens. He's going to be rocking out on the Reinhardt, and then we've got Agilities on Genji as well. These are some specialists on their heroes.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see Agilities on the Widowmaker and KSP on the Genji, right?
Sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
All right, good times.
All right, well, let's take a look at the Team Reinhardt required heroes. And now it's starting to make a little more sense. I think we've got ourselves a gentleman's agreement here, Reinforced. Rather than trying to, use the format to the full potential to throw off their opponents, they've gone for a good old-fashioned just define the meta and play a mirror.
Where's the Torb? Where's the Torbjorn and the Symmetra? Like, I mean, I love these compositions, but this is not what I was promised.
There's money on the line here, Jonathan. There is an enormous amount of money on the line. And frankly, for one, I am just glad that we get to see Team Reinhardt, Reinhardt Specialist, Super Matthew Cashew Delisi, pulling out the Reinhardt All-Star skin and going toe-to-toe with Benbest as well. And yeah, Nevix is in the lineup. He's not playing Genji for any of those old-school fans of the Swedish prodigy. Presumably that'll be Nico. We've got a full French front line.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be quite entertaining to see Nico and Soon play as a DPS duo here. Obviously, they do it already on Paris Eternal, but when you see them on perhaps their signature heroes, Nico played a ton of Genji dating way back in time. So this is a bit of a rogue flashback. I mean, when I was not on the roster, it was when Nico was on this roster as well, with Rogue, of course, when they were playing the North American region. Bit of a throwback for me. I'm going to be very thoroughly entertained to see both of these teams play these two compositions.
Yeah, this is going to be very interesting as well, because this is Rialto, right? The Widowmaker is afforded a lot of very long sightlines across a large portion of the map. We've seen in some of our previous tournaments, I think back to, Decay's iconic performance with Dallas playing against the Houston Outlaws. They can have a lot of influence here.
Yeah, and even thinking back to KSP, I mean, KSP playing this map for the LA Valiant this season, taking some of these duels against Florida Mayhem, as you might remember. He was obviously dominated on this map, and it is a classical Reinhardt map as well. I mean, I know I always go back to that, but when I think of Rialto as well, I think of the Vancouver Titans against the San Francisco Shock last year, some of these great overtime pushes playing the GOATs composition. Don't shoot the Lucios, let's go.
Don't shoot the Lucios. I mean, I guess they're just going for the boobs. Super says, wait, do we play it out or wait for the 1v1 first? What have they got for us here, Jonathan? What are we going for?
We fight 5 versus 5. Who's going to take the 1v1?
It's surely the Widows, right? 1v1. A Lucio boob 1v1!
Oh my god!
This is so good! We had no idea this was going to happen, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Oh! FunnyAstro nearly got booped off there. FDGod absolutely with an advantage. Slightly better coordination and maybe some wall riding technique here. And they've lost each other. Okay, now they've locked on once again. FunnyAstro getting a bit more damage out as he swoops away. I don't care about the Widowmaker kills.
I don't care!
I only care about the Lucios right now.
I'm afraid of heights. This is too far off, Sideshow. Get me off.
Well, it seems like as the Lucios do battle in the skies, some kind of anime wizard battle. Oh, not quite. FunnyAstro, he's so close. The 5v5 on the ground, favoring the defensive team so far. FDGod so weak as FunnyAstro gets the advantage, but can't quite do it. The boop. Oh, not there. The canal does not eat him alive this time. The zippy zappy frog, as Bren would call him, survives to live another day.
He's just defeated, just standing on the ground. He's just given up, cannot wall ride the boost anymore. Oh, FunnyAstro, can he get up? I mean, they're still going.
Oh, I saw something in the kill feed there, and I thought that was FDGod getting the better end of it. Both of these Lucios just refuse to die. Maybe this is why it hasn't become the meta in the Overwatch League. It's because the Lucios just can't finish a kill.
They're still going! They're still going! Oh, there it is! FunnyAstro!
Legendary performance.
The lol coming out.
That is one of the best things I've ever seen in the Overwatch League. That is unbelievably good. It doesn't actually matter when it comes to the offensive capabilities of Team Reinhardt. They have thrown away these first 2 minutes.
No Johns, FunnyAstro. 200 MS. We don't take excuses here. No high ping. You accepted the duel and you live by the duel. And so, I mean, I don't really care in this regard. FDGod obviously has been a fantastic Lucio for Paris Eternal all year long as well. So showing his dominance in this one-on-one matchup. Now, I would like to take a look at the rest of the team, Joshua. Because we have Suit on Widowmaker, Super on Reinhardt, KSP as well, just popping off. So we gotta take a look at some of these other duels going on.
Yeah, KSP has been kind of dominating if I go by the kill feed, because that's the only thing I've been able to look at while we've been spectating the Lucio. Oh my god, Agilities making it look like the Summer Showdown once again. Dragged his team to the quarterfinals that time, and now he's trying to carry Team D.Va to an even portion in this all-star match. Couple of kills for him in that fight, thanks to the Nano Blade. Yeah. And although it's been KSP getting the default neutral kills a lot of the time, as he gets another one, both of the DPS are coming up clutch here.
Oh, Lord have mercy. That's just filthy. It's so hard to deal with KSP because remember, you can't swap to Wrecking Ball. You can't swap to Winston. So you're kind of just hedging your bet on soon being able to win this Widowmaker duel to create space for the rest of your team.
Do you send the Lucio on to him? Do you go? Oh, there we go. Soon actually gets the win. Nevix with the grab. Both grabs utilized at the same time.
Dragon Blade, 1 slice, 2 slice. It's a pizza party. Nico popping off here, trying to make it happen for Team Reinhardt.
I think any French fans would be a little worried about you saying Nico's having a pizza party. Is getting native here on Rialto. That's interesting. But yeah, he certainly contributed. He's French, isn't he? They're not a big fan of pizzas. They've got a long-standing rivalry with the Italians.
Not a fan of pizza?
I have no idea, actually. No one that I've ever talked to, anyway.
All right.
Okay, if the fight can get delayed for long enough, perhaps they could get up to another nano boost. But Super, he's already in the backlines with one of his own. The pin, the charge, counter pin coming out from Benbest here. Oh, the shadow! Just a disrespect!
Oh, you love to see it. And he gets Agilities as well. Agilities when he was Dragon Blader. Super obviously aware of the Dragon Blade going on, and he gets the Fire Strike kill. Posing on the Carter as well, letting his team push up soon on that Widowmaker. Trying to get some exit frags here, but this is what we love to see. More action. It wouldn't have been that much fun if they got Heaven Hunter.
Let's take a look at the comms.
I can pin it. I'm playing far right. Ryan coming in.
Yeah, I'll drop in.
Right half. Oh, soon.
I'm not low. I can bubble you.
Up soon. Yeah, bubble me.
Soon getting booped off there as Super was screaming about him being in trouble. Benbest with the nano boost of his own. He's been able to come out on top in this fight. Great work from Kariv, but FunnyAstro and Nico are still on the payload, and they're trying to win this. They're still moving it forwards. It's Agilities versus Nico. And the young French talent, we don't talk about him too much because Sparkle's had this hero for the majority of the season, but Nico's showcasing here in our all-star match that he's still got what it takes.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, we know that Nico can play this Genji. It just so happens that you have Sparkle on the team, just like you said. He has a Dragon Blade here as well, and he's going to pull it out here, trying to cap. Point B, going for the backline as well, but he gets beamed down by space on this Zarya. And what now do you do on Team Reinhardt? You have no ultimates right now.
And not much opportunity to make much happen, but Super has an ultimate, as does Nevix. And it looks like they're going aggressive with this. The beat engage, Bionade onto space. They catch him at 99%. And Super, he lays down the shatter and the pin. The magnetic pin sucking in Benbest from across the map. He delivers 3-4 kills in that fight as Nico finishes off the final target, and checkpoint B is theirs. Super on his eponymous hero, carrying Team Reinhardt to the victory.
On high ping as well, right?
Yeah, he's playing from Korea right now, unless he's been able to hop on a short-haul flight and ruin his quarantine all over again.
He's playing from a cruise in the middle of the ocean right now, trying to get as far as he could. About
there we go.
To the States.
Speed boost, nice grab to be able to catch the aggression coming out. Super, Bionaded, enormous! Wow! The damage!
Just from nowhere, Agility just dashes in and just gets all of the finishing blows, reminiscent of his Contenders performance in 2017. I'm going full wolf on you when he was actually playing for the Moth roster and got that infamous 6k Dragon Blade as well on Gibraltar. Shades of Agility's former self. I mean, we'd love to see him on this hero, so known for his Genji, and manages to get some nice dash kills in that Graviton Surge.
Yeah, it's fabulous to see him back at a performance level like that. My eyes are on Agilities once again here because he has that nano boost available. The Dragon Blade, the Nano Blade. Agilities looking to carve people up. They're waiting for Team Reinhardt to come a little further forwards, but as soon as those squishies show their face and commit, here comes the speed boost, and again, Agilities, he's straight out. Crimzo, the first casualty, super. He goes for the charge, a bit of disrespect there, but Agilities is too wary. Yeah, you have to wake up early in the morning to catch Agilities napping when he's on that Genji, and he again delivers for Team D.Va.
I mean, I do put some respect on Super's name here because he did try to charge the Dragon Blade in Genji.
The Lotto
I mean,
Force, that's what we call that.
The Lotto Force. It's a play as old as time. I'm not as old as time, but the play is. And anyway, here now, they're a bit overextended. KSP getting 2 frags here. Nico is going to pull this Dragon Blade, gets 1 kill, gets 2 kills. This is looking pretty even so far.
Pretty difficult, though, to be able to find success. There's 20 seconds left, and even though Team Reinhardt have massive spawn advantage, they're still getting held, and shots like that from KSP are part of the reason why. Super on the Rhine, moving forwards. He still has that shatter and a beat to engage, but there's only 3 seconds left.
Oh, and he goes down! He tries to use a shatter, the beat is not out in time for FunnyAstro. They're going to solo grab Nevix as well, and it looks like it's game over here for Team Reinhardt, not being able to cap out on Rialto here. Gets 2 points. You know, they get 2 points and a little bit of distance. This could be winnable for Team D.Va here.
Pretty easy.
Alright, Kai, I'm AFK until you get a pick, alright? I expect at least 3 on opening, I think.
1v1 again? Oh.
Again, just those fantastic analytic insights that you expect whenever you dive into team communication.
1v1 because, oh my, it's fine. So you guys do
FDGod there as well, lamenting the fact that he wasn't able to wall ride.
Someone set up to kill him. Jill just ghost dash him in the air.
Okay. I'm about to get him to 1 HP. I'll just
hard teabag him after.
It's a loose, relaxed atmosphere, Jonathan. Reminiscent of when you were a professional? Was that how things were when you were competing in those big tournaments? The can't even remember what you won.
Tournaments, right?
The Atlantic Showdown? That was the tournament you won?
Yep, absolutely. Wow, we're going so far back in town. It's almost
really
like reading Wikipedia articles about this.
FunnyAstro, he's so fast up there. I don't think FDGod's going to challenge him again, though. You heard him in the team comms when we jumped in, saying that he couldn't wall ride properly when he was trying to fight. Presumably because of his ping. He's probably back in Paris as well. Soon, though, the ping not stopping him as he finds that first elimination to start things off, helping his defensive team.
Ooh. KSP with the entry frag as well. You always love to see that when you're pushing up on Rialto here around this corner. Gives the team a bit more space. I mean, they're just going in here. Benbest slept, but back up on his feet and trying to get some frags.
Nevix, yeah, he was slept, he was bionated, and they were able to take him out as well. Look at FDGod going on that cheeky flank and space with 3 kills in this engagement. FDGod's found out how to wall right now, back to his old tricks, sneaking around behind them, setting up his team for a couple of easy kills, and Nico is hiding around up top. Sneaky little French Genji, the Frenji, up top.
The Frenji?
The Frenji, yeah, the French Genji.
Yeah, you're really trying here, man.
That's
really
what they're called. Oh no! Space! Oh, he gets out onto the gondola and manages to escape with his life.
The gondola. I'm just perplexed. A synonym for both. Sorry.
Oh, super! I could feel it. He wanted to go for the disrespect shatter there. Benbest into the water just for the little reset. Team D.Va, they've got the forward spawns because of the capture of checkpoint A with 5 minutes still on the clock. But Soon has a ridiculous angle here. Do they know? They're going for the very safe spawn exit on the right-hand side. They must have some idea.
They don't know. They don't know, Josh.
Oh no,
they don't know.
Pepe laugh.
Hey, none of that. All right. Team D.Va here with Benbest. Benbest uses a shatter, but not able to get it off in time. Agilities gets a kill onto Nico. Shatter comes out of Turbo! It's massive!
Oh, unbelievable stuff. As well, just to lock it all in. Agilities, he had a nanoblade in the middle of that fight, but he was able to do too much with it. 4.5 minutes, but Team D.Va, they're struggling to get out of their own spawn. And Reinhardt hasn't even... Team Reinhardt, Super's team, has not really had to use that many ultimates in this engagement. The Nevix kill is definitely going to aid in this, but once they get up to another Dragon Blade, Nico's going to have an opportunity to push them back into spawn.
Yeah, I mean, this is so chaotic because it's a bit all over the place, especially when you push into spawn like that. Agility is trying to get this kill off Soon. I mean, Soon is just hanging out in the backlines. What's happening here? You've lost the fight. Soon just trying to stay alive. This is a dangerous flank.
He's popped his
KSP
sights.
has the infra site.
Yeah, they've both popped sights, so Soon knows where everyone is, but they know where Soon is flanking from. Kariv caught in the grab there, presumably, and even though FunnyAstro dies, Super with the big nano boost, he's going to be able to come through as the final boss. The Shatter as well, pin out of space, taking down the off-tank, even though he dies. Scrappy fight here, Jonathan.
Very scrappy fight, and I mean, Super uses that Shatter, tries to turn it around, but it's not going to be enough. 3 players left remaining for Team D.Va as they look to cap off this point B. FunnyAstro is alive here in the front lines, trying to get some of these wall rides going again. I mean, he's just all over the place. He's just all over the place.
He really is. Take a look at Benbest here, taking the heals. As they see the blade come out, Nico up in the air, gets a dash onto Kariv, trying to find his counterpart, gets the kill onto Agilities as well. Beautiful little sequence of plays. And he's able to help his team up to a bit of a victory here. They've just got to finish off Benbest in space. Benbest so weak. Soon is everything.
He's the last savior of Team Reinhardt here. And they managed to hold it here on point B as well. I mean, 3 minutes remaining, but we've seen so many times, Sideshow. It is so hard to really round this corner.
Oh, yeah.
So just getting time with Team Reinhardt.
They have none of blade.
We can listen to the team comms here while we're looking at the replay. Beautiful shots.
Look at him. Maybe I can pin it. Maybe I can pin it. We have to shoot the bubble off.
I can try and phone B.
If you.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Got ourselves a little bit of a pause here. So we're going to have to take a little break from the comms. You could tell things are getting frantic there as well. Team Reinhardt, they've still got to hold on here for another 2 minutes. Like you said, Jonathan, it's a defendable part of the map. But 2 minutes still on the clock and a nanoblade available for Agilities. We've seen what he's been able to do with those.
Yeah. This is going to be a monumental task for Team Reinhardt here, Sideshow. I mean, how do you really navigate around this Dragon Blade? Maybe we see Super go for one of those pins again.
Yeah,
it's a lot of sleep darts coming out from Crimzo. Crimzo actually known for his sleep darts throughout the entire season for Dallas Fuel. So maybe he could come in clutch here and actually shut Agilities down.
Well, let's take a look. All eyes on Crimzo. Maybe Soon can land a headshot. They need something to deal with Agilities. Jump shot there from KSP. Didn't find too much as Benbest desperately needs to be healed up. Taking a bit of damage there onto his shield. Agilities looking for an opportunity. Benbest, they missed the nade. They killed Crimzo anyway. Oh my word, and Agilities with the kill onto Nico. FunnyAstro, he was able to pop the beat in the middle of that, but it didn't help anything. Team Reinhardt, they plank. And Team D.Va rolls it forward into checkpoint B. There's going to be one final stand. The battle of Thermopylae here as Team Reinhardt with their respawning players, so few of them, trying to hold off the mass.
Super Shatter! Super Shatter! Can he get the pin? He gets the pin onto Benbest. He's going to go down. Where do you contest here? It's up to FunnyAstro, right? FunnyAstro has to contest here for Team Reinhardt.
Yeah, they need a single player. It's got to be him. FunnyAstro zipping through the clouds. He's got to be somewhere around there. Taking down the KSP. And that's going to do it, Jonathan. Team D.Va, they even it up as we head into our halftime. It's one apiece. And you know, really a beautiful recovery from the loss early on of that Lucio 1v1. I thought that was going to be prophetic, Jonathan. I thought it was going to tell the story of this entire match, but instead, FDGod, he turns around and he says, no, we've got Agilities on our team, so don't worry, he'll just take all the nanoblades and win.
Yeah, and I mean, and KSP, who actually popped off on the Widowmaker as well, and you have Benbest, who's a fantastic Reinhardt in that regard, so these were actually 2 fairly even teams. I think, here on Rialto as well. So.
Jonathan, I'd love to read out this stat to you that I've just seen pop up in the cards at the end of the game. Agilities has 62% kill participation on the Genji, 48 limbs for him over the course of that map. That's some monstrous stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, Agilities is known for his Genji, and it was a blessing to see it out here again, of course, combining with the Nano Blade. So this is really what you expected from Team D.Va, I think. This is really when all of those players play to their absolute fullest potential. And now, Joshua, it's all going to be decided on the most competitive game mode of them all.
I am loving this. Guys, we are going to go to a quick break, but you do not want to go anywhere. When we return, we're going to have Coach of the Year is going to be announced, but maybe even more importantly, there is $75,000 on the line here, and Tiny Overwatch decides it all.
Let's go!
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Xfinity, the preferred internet provider of the Overwatch League. The Overwatch League is brought to you by Cheez-It Grooves. Deep flavor, deep crunch, it's a mind crunch. And by TeamSpeak, the official voice supplier of the Overwatch League.
The Shanghai Dragons, they might just be doing it!
But are you kidding me?
Calm it down, calm it down!
To take a franchise that was so maligned to go 0-40 in Season 1 and then get a little bit of momentum in Season 2 to take them to the top of the Overwatch League, creating that mentality, creating the environment that your team needs to succeed, there's no better coach than Coach Moon.
감사합니다. Thank you.
Shanghai Dragons is just full of redemption arcs at this point. They have the 0-40 season in 2018. They have the bounce back in Season 2 in order to pick up the Stage 3 victory, and now they are perhaps going to win the Grand Finals of the 2020 season. Him coming over to the Shanghai, it's yet another redemption arc that we're seeing.
When Moon was coaching for the Valiant, his exit from that team was a little bit messy. Moon was given a second opportunity to prove himself with the Shanghai Dragons, and with that opportunity, he created absolute magic.
The Shanghai Dragons have done it! I cannot believe what we have witnessed. The reverse sweep,
That's incredible.
We knew that the Shanghai Dragons were capable of greatness, but Coach Moon really helped the Dragons elevate to the next level.
Moon seems like he is the glue for this roster. There's a lot of people coming together who have not seen success on a lot of their other teams. He took them in under his wing, and I don't think that there is another team in the league that has displayed more cohesive prowess than the Shanghai Dragons. These guys are always on the same page. They always can capitalize on the most minute mistakes that their opponents might make. I think it's very much on the back of Coach Moon bringing these players together and teaching them how to interact with each other in-game in a cohesive fashion.
감독님의 스타일은 이제 선수들 멘탈 케어도 많이 해주고
제일 귀한 것 같은 건 이제 뭐 방금도 말했다시피 이제 전체적인 멘탈적인 부분인 것 같아요.
분위기를 풀어주시거나 아니면 안 되는 것에 대해서 저에게 설명을 해주시는데 일단 분위기를 풀어주시는 거는 저희가 다 같이 무슨
항상 그때마다 이제 바로 잡아 주셔가지고 저희가 항상 경기를 그래서 이제 질 때도 항상 역습을 하는 것도 그런 게 좀 크거든요.
저 일단 문 감독님이 이제 크게 기여했다고 생각하고요. 이제 왜냐하면
그 이유는 제가 이제 올해뿐만이 아니라 작년에 이제 팀 CC라는 팀에서부터 문 감독님한테 이렇게 좀 게임에 대해서 그리고 이제
문 감독님 올해 감독상
문 감독님 올해 감독상
감독님 이제 코치상 받게 된 거 축하드리고 네 일단은 정말 뜻깊은 상을 받게 돼서 정말 힘들었었는데 예, 그래도 네, 그거에 대한 이제 보상인 것 같아서 정말 감사하게 생각을 하고 있고요. 그래도 지금 더 큰 이제 마지막 플레이오프 그랜드 파이널이 남아 있기 때문에 좀 더 이제 팀이 더 잘 되게끔 예, 최선을 다해서 마지막 예, 골을 향해서 잘 최선을 다하겠습니다. 감사합니다. 예, 감사합니다. 땡큐.
Oh, huge congratulations to Moon of the Shanghai Dragons for winning our Coach of the Year award. Very well deserved, I think, Jonathan.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, they dominated in the APAC region for the better part of the entire season, and given how strong of a region that really is, I think you have to give a lot of credit to Coach Moon there for actually helping the Shanghai Dragons really turn their franchise around overall with this new roster.
Yep, and well, outside of Moon, we've got two great coaches about to do battle here in Tiny Overwatch, something I'm sure they've put in hours and hours of prep work for.
Oh, yeah.
But before we get there, Jonathan, I know that you've been able to release yourself from the shackles of the desk in a physical manner, but not in this sense, because we still have to have you break down our incredible speed boost play presented by Xfinity. So please take this one away.
Speed boost! And of course it's going to be Danteh on this Sombra here on Blizzard World. In overtime with Team Reinhardt having the opportunity to close things out. Danteh is just going to build up this EMP so ridiculously fast. Super getting the kill onto Shockwave. It's a man advantage, and from here on out, Team Reinhardt is just going to close things out with help of Danteh's ridiculously fast EMP here on map 1.
Yeah, that's incredibly speedy. Thank you very much, Jonathan. That was the playoffs edition.
Very boosty too.
It was very boosty as well. Of Speed Boost. Oh, my voice cracked in the
Presented by Xfinity.
Yeah, presented by Xfinity. I don't think I should do that. You know, I think I'll leave that to you in the future here.
Yeah, a lot of practice comes with it. A lot of practice.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we've done it all year, but I understand you haven't really had the full practice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that was map 1 there. And we instead have got map 3 ahead of us. It is 1-1 in the series in our all-star game between Coach Kuki and Coach KDG, Coach D.Va, or rather Team D.Va and Team Reinhardt. And we are about to head in to our tiny Overwatch match. This is gonna be ridiculous, insane, dramatically impossible to understand. I mean, look at them, they're tiny.
What is happening? This is unbelievable. They're just small. They're just small Overwatch.
Small. I loved watching this when it was happening over in APAC. Now, this isn't your traditional tiny Overwatch, though, if any of you guys have played it in custom games, because as people do damage and healing, they actually get bigger. So you become more and more of a target for the enemy team, the more impact you're having in the game, which leads to these weird mind games about who you're focusing and how you hit your shots. Because obviously, the bigger you are, the easier it is for your opponents to hit you.
I mean, I can certainly relate to this. Your power level increases the bigger you get, and because we see this, like this. I was going to say something, but then I just saw the largest brigade of my life. I mean, this game mode is just going to be absolutely ridiculous. And there's $75,000 on the line for this game mode.
Yeah, this is absolutely insane. Let's take a look at the starters here for Tiny Overwatch. Obviously, these teams are going to be wanting to have set teams that have really done the preparation necessary. So you can see the starters here. We're going with Space, McGravy, Agilities, and Shockwave this time, alongside Kariv and Moth. How many hours do you think they've put into Tiny Overwatch, Jonathan?
Oh, so many. I mean, a ridiculous amount. Hundreds. Surely hundreds of hours.
Oh my lord, let's take a look at the Team Reinhardt starters as well. These people are going to be inflating over time, like Super's ego. Let's see who they've got to start our first 6 players as we head into Tiny Overwatch. It is Super and Poko, this time with Soon and Danteh as that offensive damage line.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be quite interesting. Danteh and Soon is a scary damage DPS duo here. Maybe we'll see some Sombra come out again. Soon obviously known for playing hit scan at such a high level. Poko on that off tank as well. I mean, stacked rosters across the board. It is curious to see Pacific here playing with Space and McGravy as their tank duo. Obviously 2 off tanks, but
maybe a bit of ball coming out. We saw tiny hamster Eamon was terrorizing when this game mode was played over in APAC. So I'm hoping we get to see something like that. Now, Danteh is also on your screen right now, Jonathan. And I just want to put this match in perspective for you, for how insane the stakes are. Currently, according to my sources online, Danteh's all-time winnings, not his salary, but his winnings in Overwatch, is $6,666. If he wins here a game, one map of Tiny Overwatch, he will more than double his lifetime earnings when it comes to winnings in Overwatch. That's absurd.
I mean, I don't even know what to say about that. He can double his professional winnings by winning this game mode.
Look at how tiny FunnyAstro is. He jumps so high, he's like a cricket.
Is this what it feels like to be Matt Morello?
No, this is what it feels like to be you and look down on all the small people.
Yeah, I see.
You should be perfectly at home.
We're seeing some interesting compositions here. Symmetra from both teams going to teleport out of spawn. Agilities playing this Pharah. How can you hit anyone with Pharah in this game mode?
At the same time, the splash might be all you can do, because trying to aim bullets at these tiny people is going to be ridiculous. And Agilities is going to get significantly bigger. I mean, why are you even going for mid-air rockets? Come on, Agilities, that's not going to work.
Let's not. I do think that, I mean, is ball going to be very strong here because you boop damage all the time, so you're naturally
I definitely think the ball is going to be strong. We started out with Crimzo getting the first pick. Moiras tend to get very big in this. You can see he's towering over his opponents. Moth on the floor. Oh, he's just destroyed on Mercy. It feels like he's
very relatable.
Murdering a little pet.
Oh no. Why do you have to go there? Why do you have to go there, Joshua? We're having fun in the All-Star event and you bring it there? What are you on about?
I don't know.
Lucas, Danteh gets the opening pick. Danteh gets the opening pick here with Echo.
Yeah, opening kill already found. And this is just going to go forever. Surely people can't finish the kills very easily because people are so small. What a shot. What a shot from Agilities.
I mean, that was ridiculous. I think that was back-to-back mid-airs. And here comes the barrage, and he gets FunnyAstro as well. It looks like Team D.Va are finding an advantage early on here.
If Agilities can stay alive here, he's going to be huge. I mean, if we went to a third-person mode right now of Agilities, he'd be enormous. He must be towering over the opposition. He's bigger than normal size. Whoa. And a bunch of the Team D.Va players already are. So now it's the playground bullies, essentially, of Team D.Va picking on the little guys.
What a Chad Pharah in action right now, just so big. And they're going, Team Reinhardt are opting to go inside as well. Crimzo's going to go down. You needed that coalescence to bring the Pharah down. They're going to dedicate the sound barrier as well. FunnyAstro gets a pick and Danteh gets a pick. This is looking winnable for Team Reinhardt.
Yeah, pretty good play. The 4700 Danteh Echo coming out to play here as Kariv goes down. And suddenly, it's all swapped around. Now Team Reinhardt are the bulky chaps looking to exert their influence over the battlefield.
Splash damage is OP, I think.
Did I walk spawn in the first fight? I was not playing.
Let's not think he's Doom. I think Doom is the most important.
Well, yeah,
They're coming
right side. They're really small right side. They're really small.
They can barely see their opponents. They're calling their right side, and it's like trying to plot the movements of bugs on the battlefield. It's impossible. And soon in the middle of that fight as well said he thinks the Doomfist is the most imbalanced. Danteh swapping over to the Doom, but didn't really find that much value out of his Echo duplicate. And Team D.Va, I'm almost positive, Jonathan, that every single time that we've had the small fight the big, it has been a David and Goliath story where the small has won. They're getting so much advantage out there, hitboxes being smaller.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely brings the matchup very close, right? This is what we want to see, an even matchup. I mean, look at this. Just
tiny.
Look at the Summer go. Speedy boy. Or girl.
That's amazing. Oh, I love that the voice lines are higher pitch. It's incredible. Bomb up into the top as Danteh, he falls. Look at the size of space. He is genuinely like Godzilla towering over the battlefield, annihilating the small folk as he just crushes them underfoot. He's some titanic behemoth on the battlefield, slaughtering his opposition. But McGravy's tank duo has fallen.
Yeah, Winston is actually really good here, right? Because you have the Tesla cannons. You don't really have to aim at very small individuals you're playing against. We're seeing FunnyAstro here. They're playing on this point, use the sound barrier as well. Super is going to activate this Primal Rage eventually here on this point, and it's just going to be ridiculous coalescence coming out from Crimzo as well. Team are trying to get this fight here, otherwise it might just be lost here on the first round.
Team Reinhardt are going to have an EMP to be able to work with here as well, and Shockwave's already fallen. Danteh, though, he dies. Team Reinhardt getting up to a lot of ultimates, but FunnyAstro is not going to be able to escape. 99%. They need something to happen here, but soon as EMP, it only catches Moth, and he's able to still survive with the Samurai. Did he go off the side there? Somebody did. Super knocked somebody off, but I think it was Moth, and he was able to use his roll riding to get back into the battlefield and drop the beat.
Oh, this is looking so close. Danteh is going to actually go ahead and transform into Doomfist. He's going to drop this ultimate as well. Can he get any kills though? Shockwave's dropping really low, soon gets the frag on in. And now Team Reinhardt are looking to turn things around. Danteh gets another ultimate. This time he's not able to get anyone, gets the punch, and McGravy is going to use a third ultimate. He has so many ultimates and he uses it on top of the D.Va as well. This is just ridiculous from Danteh coming out now. He's growing in size so rapidly. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's like it's in his teenage years. He's just growing by the minute.
His brain is visibly expanding. He is getting bigger. His frontal lobe is getting bigger. His ability is just expanding and expanding. Soon with another EMP, but his main support has gone down. Crimzo, the vast majority of those heals that he was providing to the team are not going to be available. Soon with an EMP, it's enormous in terms of the size of it, but it only catches Kariv in space as Team Reinhardt convert on those kills. Kariv, Shockwave, they hit the bench. Back to the spawn for them. Only 3 players alive, and this fight has just lasted forever.
I mean, this entire round was like a season of Apex. It's unbelievable. It's just never ending. And I mean, the coalescence is still coming out from Crimzo here as well on Team Reinhardt. Sound barrier, double support ultimate from Team Reinhardt. Super is going to be able to get back to the point as well and activate this Primal Rage very soon as well. Team D.Va, they have a few ultimates here. They're looking to close it out. Nice punch from Shockwave on this Doomfist.
Moth is moving in slow motion. It's like someone put him in a pile of syrup. He's moving around, stuck to the floor. It's like watching, I don't know. It's like watching Brent play Lucio. He never uses the walls at all because he can't even get up there. Gravity works more when you're that big. The mass has increased and he's stuck to the floor. FunnyAstro, he ends up going down as does Moth. No Lucio's right at the side here as we head into our 17th minute of overtime. But it looks like Team D.Va are eventually coming out with the success. Desperately trying to kill Super, whose tiny little bubble is keeping him alive on the floor. It's microscopic. You need a microscope to be able to tell what's even happening here.
I don't know what's happening. Sue's going to activate the Death Blossom, but it's not going to be enough. They still have players on this point. Super Primal Raging, but he's so small. He cannot actually hit anyone. Danteh's back on this point. I'm losing my voice in a single overtime. I don't know what is happening. It's just back and forth. Danteh's going to pick up the frags. Can the Team Reinhardt actually turn this around? That's the big baby D.Va.
Super's just desperately looking up at his opponents. desperate to tickle their toes and try and take them out of the game. Team D.Va only has 4 players left, but Moth with another sound barrier. McGravy, he doesn't even know what's happening here.
$1,000, no!
This is for so much money, and Moth with the sound barrier. He drops another one. FunnyAstro with the beat onto the window ledge. Another support ultimate coming out as he knocks Shockwave off the side of the map. He's sleep on with the fishes now. Team Reinhardt with a 1-player advantage quickly turned around as Crimzo, the main healer for his team, he ends up going down. Is this fight ever going to end? 99%. It's not even a 99-99 fight. If Team Reinhardt come out with the win here, it's only going to continue. Danteh was about to fall, but he utilizes his duplicate to be able to swap things over, and it does finally look like Team Reinhardt are getting the control of the fight here. The Death Blossom, it's guaranteed damage on anyone that stays close, but somehow Shockwave is able to bury himself into the floor and avoid all of the damage. Kariv's going to be able to come back in with a coalescence here. And at what point, Jonathan, do we say that this is the first draw ever in a control map? This is undecided. I'm growing old. I've got a full head of hair. It's all grown back.
I mean, this might actually be the first time an overtime push has gotten boring. We're not quite there yet. I am thoroughly entertained at this fight just continuously going on. But I do understand that, you know, I might have to ask John Spector if we get paid overtime if this goes on for too long. You know, there's only so many hours in the day.
I'm growing
Soon he's going to drop this Death Blossom. I mean, Team D.Va.
This is going even longer. This is going even longer. It's going even longer because Team Reinhardt, they're in control of the engagement right now. Or rather, they were in control of the point, but they have lost control of the engagement. The fight itself has gone or is going the way of Team D.Va here. So even though the capture is slowly going upwards, and Lord knows this fight could go for another couple of eons, but Team D.Va are getting the better end of it. Super falls. The bead is dropped.
This is just so much happening. Okay, Team D.Va, they're going to end up capping this point here, surely. No, there's a small wrecking ball on the point. There's a small marble on the point, just rolling around with a minefield in hand. There it goes. There's a big baby D.Va. Is Space going to be able to survive? I think he does. It looks like Team D.Va is going to close this out. We're going to 99-99.
No, this is a 99-99 scenario, and FunnyAstro's got the beat. They're getting the advantage. It's 6v4 at the moment. Insane boot. The Wrecking Ball normally finds so much value in these team fights. And no, don't tell me that Team Reinhardt have actually gone and done it. They have not been able to turn this fight around in the longest overtime ever seen in Overwatch League history. With $75,000 on the line, this first round has been absolutely absurd. Team Reinhardt are getting up to their ultimates. Danteh over to the D.Va. They have a few more players to be able to clean up here. McGravy is still playing marbles on stream as he just wriggles his way around the point like a tiny little planet orbiting the larger, the central sun. I don't know, I've lost my mind, Jonathan. I've absolutely gone insane.
Moon. Look at Crimzo. He can barely fit into the doorways, and he's just keep putting out the healing and the damage. Agilities here, transforming into the Winston. Can he get a primal rage up in time? Soon he's just going to drop off the map. I don't even think he wants to participate anymore in the overtime. He's just going over too long, and we're seeing both of these teams. They've both died so many times that they're still, all of them are small. There are no big heroes left. They need to actually build up their energy here and grow ultimates. 3 kills from Team D.Va. Can they finally do it? They capped the point. Overtime ticking. I don't believe what I've just seen.
That has got to be some of the most high-level Overwatch we've ever seen in our life.
Okay, Reaper's only good against like really big things.
This is torture. Let's take a listen to the comms.
But I was funny on Doom, bro. I wasn't hiding. I was just coming with the punches. Like I was like, you know.
Did I play Ryan? Did I play Ryan here?
So hard to I think Monkey's really good, I think.
Ball
for stall is so
Monkey
or ball. Yeah, Monkey and ball are both good,
we can always come back on ball, but
yeah, you can start. Ball is huge, but Primal's good and like and there's big zaps when you get large on Monkey.
Are you gonna play Junk?
I think just for Leaper. Echo was good.
Meta is developing before our very eyes here, Reinforce, and both teams are going for vastly different things. Super still believes that this is a normal 6v6 match because he's come out on Reinhardt when his shield doesn't even cover anybody. Whereas Team D.Va, as we heard in those comms, they've got, I think, a decent idea of what heroes are actually good in this mode.
Yeah, I mean, they're loving the Doomfist here. Shockwave getting so many clean punches in. They're just one round away. Sideshow from $75,000. And Shockwave is just pounding away. He's growing by the minute. Absolute spectacular size from this man. Love the form as well. This is just incredible gameplay from the Vancouver Titans star.
The Doomfist is definitely an incredibly powerful option here, as is the ball and the Winston, as we heard from the comms of Team D.Va. But Soon's been able to take him down. They still do full damage, remember, even when they're so tiny. It's not that the damage and healing actually scales when you get bigger. It's only your player hitbox. It's only the model itself that increases. And my god, we're in for another Carnage level first fight all over again.
I mean, this is just unreal. Is anyone even going to cap the point? Coalescence comes out from Crimzo, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. Sound barrier drop from Moth as well, so both sides really committing, supporting.
What is
Super's just standing! Super's just standing! He's just accepted, and he's going to claim the throne on the middle of the map, but it's not going to help because they're contesting.
Absolutely absurd performances there. That's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. Just Super sat on Winston at the top of that, like some kind of, I don't know, planetarium. Super again, he's up there, but he's not killing anyone. He's just observing the chaos. Super's given up at this point, I think. He's fully focused on the grand finals that are coming up later on. All-star money? I don't need it. He's already got 17 sneakers from Fire striking and earth shattering everybody in the previous playoff games. This fight continues to go on, by the way. The bomb up in the air? Okay, didn't actually find anyone. I thought that might have had a little more impact. Shockwave goes down once again, and Team Reinhardt, even with Super basically AFK in the fight, appear to be getting the better end of this. Kariv fades out of that engagement. Well. Yeah, the wrecking ball is coming back in. They just need to clean up McGravy, essentially.
Yeah, and there it is. There is just one speedy Echo jumping around on this Winston left on this point. There's an Agilities. He's going to get tapped out of the form. Winston indeed. I don't know why you just said Winston, but here is Shockwave.
The voice lines, man. The voice lines are so funny. They're tiny little voice lines that are scaled up in pitch, and I can't help but giggle. Soon is now so large, by the way, because he's done so much damage in this fight that he can't even take shelter behind the architecture of the map because his big old head just pops over the top.
Yeah, I mean, we need some adjusted map design here for this game mode specifically. This is unbelievable. The primal rate from Super. Team Reinhardt has still not capped this point, and it now looks like Team D.Va are going to turn it around, unless Poko can say otherwise on this wrecking ball. He's just whirling around at the point. Shockwave's going to get the frag. Danteh now on the Doomfist. Soon, I don't know what hero he is because he's so small I can't even see. Oh well, I mean, the hero is top right, you can see as well. He is the Reaper. But the model itself, I mean, it's so hard to tell, isn't it? Look now at the sheer size. The sheer size of these Team D.Va players. Now taking this point finally, 10% and ticking. And we might get closer to overtime.
I don't know whether my heart
That's
can
the way
handle
I
this.
see it. There's like different faces. Yeah, it's like a WoW boss.
I'm gonna pop a blood vessel in my brain if I continue casting this. It's absolutely absurd. They're doing so much damage over there as well. Space is enormous. He's the largest D.Va I've ever seen in my life. But at the end of the day, Team Reinhardt, they're straight back in and they're able to capture this. It seems like a massive buff when it comes to being small. You just can't be hit and you move so quickly.
I mean,
Space
on this D.Va is out for the
never
match
ever
from anime role.
Go get his mech though. Go get his mech.
Who cares? That's fine.
Okay, yeah.
Do behind me. Go behind me.
Go left.
Oh, we're really big now.
I'm just gonna hide.
I don't think Space could get out of spawn there for a moment.
Look at him! Look at him! I mean,
he can't even fit through some of the doors in the map. There are certain doors in this map he can no longer access. The metagame of this mode, it develops so fast.
I mean, this is unbelievable chaos going on. And I don't even have the point. It's Team Reinhardt at the point. Danteh gets a pick with this Doomfist as well. Here comes Super. Oh, that's a great self-destruct. That's the biggest self-destruct I've ever seen. But it doesn't get any kills. I mean, it's a D.Va bomb. What do you expect? And now we're still seeing Team Reinhardt fight for their lives. Danteh on this Doomfist going to get picked up by Agilities on this Reaper. Really good hero because all of these models are so big. Space is still on this baby D.Va.
Yeah, you know what as well?
On this baby D.Va.
It's an absurd nerf as well because baby D.Va, you normally know which horizontal axis to be able to shoot along to get back in your mech quickly, but now he has to be so accurate with these baby blaster shots.
He has to be vertical. He has to be vertical with the baby D.Va.
Yeah, this is absurd. Soon is growing larger every time his Death Blossom hits someone. 2 kills in that fight, plus a DMAC again onto Space. Space just cannot avoid the damage that is coming towards him every single time. But they've killed him, they've DMAC'd him, they've taken him out, and Space will respawn at a lower level now. he'll be back to his tiny little self. 82% here for Team Reinhardt as they're looking good to be able to hold on. Shockwave goes down. That's a lot of pick potential removed.
Yeah, absolutely. And now they're actually in a pretty good position here to close out this control center map. We're going to see Team D.Va here coming in, of course. Coalescence is dropped, but there is a minefield on behalf of Poko. 3 frags and ticking for Team D.Va as they look to recapture this point. Here's a small Soon! Watch out! Small Soon! He's dead!
Baby Soon, he's everywhere. Look at that, the fade. Oh, it was forced out. Sheer panic there. Coming through the eyes of Crimzo, I believe that was. The Shockwave stared down the barrel of a punch. Does a punch have a barrel? I don't know. I'm losing my mind here looking at tiny Overwatch. This is, by the way, the second round for $75,000 in the All-Star match here in the Overwatch League. And it's absolute carnage. If Team D.Va are able to come back from this and recontest, they could be taking home $7,500 each. That would be a nice little paycheck for Shockwave as a rookie in this league. He is on 22 health, desperately trying to get back into this fight. It does look like McGravy's bombs the mines. They're finding so much value towards the tail end of this engagement.
McGravy on this wrecking ball just plonked down onto the point.
Look
at the sheer size of these lads.
I mean,
looking real thick.
If someone genuinely had a hamster that was that big, they'd be done for animal cruelty because he's been fed so much that it would be insanely unhealthy. That's an obese hamster that's on the point right now.
Oh, he's just buff, mate. Been going to the gym like Brent.
He's at a calorie surplus like Mitch, just desperately trying to bulk.
I mean, Team Reinhardt, they're trying to claw things back here. Danteh is on the 2 piece, not even going to bother with the ultimate. Team Reinhardt has a ton of ultimates here. I mean, they have a sound barrier, a self-destruct. I mean, Super's just standing on this point. He's accepted. His ego has inflated so much that the universe revolves around him now. It's not even about him being part of it. The universe just revolves around Super on top of this little throne here on Control Center. But now, alas, Space has taken over on top of this point. Look at this McGravy ball.
It's just insane. McGravy's ball, it's the chunkiest gerbil I've ever seen in my life. It's just ridiculous. He also just moves so slowly, whereas Super, he's zippy and zappy on the floor. He's got the advantage of just being squirrely. He's fast and small on the floor, and he just can't be hit. And Team Reinhardt, they're flooding in through the cracks in the floor. It's like Bren's war with the ants. They're getting in through the crevices in the map. You can't shut them down because you can't stop them coming.
I mean, it's unbelievable, isn't it? And now we're going to see Team D.Va, the ant attack. Forget Planet of the Apes, it's Planet of the Ants! And they're just swarming into the point one by one, trying to contest here to make sure that Team Reinhardt cannot finish this out. We're actually going to see Team D.Va now standing on top of this point, drop the minefield. This is a big doomfist, but Danteh goes down. And here's a small wrecking ball. I don't know where McGravy is now, just dealing so much damage. It's chaos! It's truly chaos! I don't think I've ever seen anything like this in my entire life!
This is going to be another 99-99 fight. I'm taking a deep breath. Do it with me, Jonathan. Because we need to get prepared for this overtime engagement. I absolutely can't. Wait, can anyone touch? Yeah, Poko, he gets there. And this overtime, prepare yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, because it's going to last about 1,000 years. Danteh with the opening fight. Called a pest control, says Danteh, as he takes out Agilities. And McGravy comes rolling through. But not for me, says Super, as he takes down Moth. He's been able to extinguish that tiny little Lucio soon. And the rest of Team Reinhardt establishing a position on the point. They take down Space, who was an oversized pilot D.Va. McGravy also falls. Are we going to have an overtime fight that lasts less than an entire calendar year? It looks possible, considering that Soon's Death Blossom has found value in the engagement. They literally can't hit Moth. They literally cannot find an angle to hit Moth on top of that pillar. And he's just weaving, juking, zigging, and zagging around the point. He's impossible to hit.
Forget the Mayan calendar. We should make a tiny Overwatch calendar because we're desperately needing one after this new measurement of time. We're measuring time by the time of these lengthy Overwatch rounds. There's nothing no longer as years. 365 days, forget about it. It's 365 Overwatch rounds. And time by time, you can see it ticking. McGravy dropping the minefield. And we're seeing Poko dropping the minefield. Just contesting all over the place. How can you not contest it when you're this big in this D.Va mech? It's just madness all over the place. Team D.Va, they look like they have an advantage though. And as I say that, we see Danteh go down, Super go down as well. Moira's coming into the point. Can they move them off? Is this it for $75,000, Sideshow?
They've used the sound barrier. It is only Poko that is keeping things alive right now. Danteh, he's desperate for a chance to double his esports earnings of all time, but he's coming back in. Soon, floating around on the point, he's over in Wraith time. It is so close to this capture point being flipped over to the power of Team Reinhardt. Is it though? Well, it is in terms of the overall circle of completion. It's not close in terms of the amount of players, the tiny little termites that they need to get off the point. They're everywhere. I don't know how they're going to be able to rid it, but there it is, the Death Blossom. Soon, he's so enormous. And now it's only Shockwave and Agilities holding on to this point. I think they're going to be able to get the flip. Can anyone even touch? No, they can't. Team Reinhardt turn it around. Super Poko, they keep it alive. Let's hear the team comes. They genuinely are ecstatic this time.
I think we're doing it fine right now. You already know the strats. You know the strats.
What the fuck?
Stop swearing! This is when they look at our comms. It's in between the rounds.
No. I said what the frick? I said what the frick?
This is what we look at our comms.
No! Yo, do you guys want TP? Or no? Is it faster without it?
We might be fast.
They genuinely might be faster without the TP play. McGravy says in the chat, this is the grand finals. Playoffs don't matter. That's exactly what I would expect from a player that isn't in the grand finals. That makes perfect sense that he would believe that. But they are going without the teleporter play here. Apologies for the language in that clip as well.
Yes, of course. Minor audiences, we don't.
He is hounded his way through here. He's so quick.
Speedy, so speedy. I mean, just look at this madman. He's just rolling all over the place. Agility is going to find the opening pick onto FunnyAstro, and I mean, these are so small. I can't even see what's happening. So, I mean, I don't even know what you want me to say.
They're tiny. Get your microscopes
we should use this time to promote sponsors.
Yeah, push them onto a slide. Push them onto a slide and get your microscopes out.
All right. Well, here we go. We're zooming into the fight. Actually, someone growing Agility is finding picks. Now he's now growing to, you know, pretty average size Doomfist here we see on the point. He actually is going to go down. Looks like Team D.Va find themselves a bit of an advantage here to kick things off.
Yeah, it certainly seems like it. Space with a couple of kills. Team D.Va with a good position onto the point here. And Agility's a little closer to his ultimate. Are the ults going to make any difference? Don't know, because they haven't so far. It has been pure chaos and carnage at every point. I think Space is eventually going to get so big here that he's not going to be able to leave the point. They're going to have to fight on the objective constantly because he won't ever be able to escape. He has been demeched this time. Baby D.Va, the pilot, it does get taken out just before Moth sound barrier is able to be popped. FunnyAstro with the reply. It doesn't matter because they weren't able to do any damage anyway because Team Reinhardt, they're so small other than Danteh that they've managed to avoid all of the damage that's happening. Now swelled up, increased, the size of their egos inflating at the same rate as their player models as they get more and more damage out in the course of this engagement. Mines all over the place. Team D.Va wiped away, and Team Reinhardt are going to start capping up. Does Space go for one final recontest? It looks like it. McGravy on ball towards the back there as well. Surely this is a green team cap. Surely.
They're actually so large. Wait, are you intentionally feeding here to grow smaller for the next fight?
Possibly. I think that is a very
it's still
reasonable
going.
play.
I don't even know what to. I don't even know what to say here.
They're turning it around.
They're turning it around. Yeah,
Shockwave snuck in somewhere. The Reaper from nowhere again, coming in through the cracks in the floorboards, and he's able to find those big beefy shots on big beefy targets. Team Reinhardt fall. The Danteh death, I think, at the beginning of that fight is kind of crucial. Now that we get into the third round, the metagame is clearly obvious here. The Doomfist is the most important player.
I mean, this is absolute chaos. It feels like I'm at a Led Zeppelin concert here. Just when you think the song is over, Jimmy Page starts ripping, and it just never ends. It just never ends, Sideshow.
I mean, I'll tell you what, I'm dazed and confused casting this. I don't know about you. I have no idea what's happening. Poko doesn't either. He is just wrapping his way around. He's attached himself to a door frame, and he's looking to become some kind of door aesthetic. He's just wiggling his way around. He's like a movable doorknob. He's a doorknob on a string. He's just rotating around, trying to keep the point alive. Moth with a kill under Danteh there as again the Doomfist falls for Team Reinhardt. But the green team, they are still in control of this objective. And at the end of the day, that's what has mattered the most. You just need to close out about 2 fights here in a round.
I can't believe they're still going. I mean, how are they not really capping this point and turning it around? Team Reinhardt has 60% here.
They are so
And I mean,
huge.
this is no longer a point. This is just Space Slayer. It's like Groove Slayer. But Space, you don't know that reference because you don't play World of Warcraft, but I do. Shout out to all the Warcraft fans out there. But now we're playing Overwatch. It's tiny Overwatch gone big.
Huge there from Agilities, 3 kills in that fight. They're surely going to be able to cap things over here. Team D.Va in control of the objective. A fourth, make that a fifth perhaps? No, Agilities, he's content with his performance there. But look at the size of them all. Look at the sheer girth of Team D.Va. Agilities, I think that was a deliberate throwing off the map. I think Agilities deliberately threw himself off the map to reset his player hitbox size. We are seeing the game develop before our very eyes here, ladies and gentlemen. We have seen something high level that will never be experienced ever again.
It's like we're back in 2016. It just changes by the minute. The meta, unstoppable.
Moth lost his sound barrier. He was too big. He couldn't hit the floor. He jumped up too high. Like a frog on steroids, he leapt into the air.
6K! Soon got a 6K! I mean, he deserves sneakers. Surely. I mean, he got a 6K in tiny Overwatch. That's unprecedented.
We'll give him tiny baby sneakers, perhaps. Soon runs forward.
Time to get to work soon.
Gives his life away. And this is 95% now for Team Reinhardt. Again, I keep saying it because it's insane. This is for $75,000. There's no chance of a draw here. No extra maps, no extra rounds.
They're just going to win it. Here's our show.
They could very possibly. Kariv and Moth, they're going to be able to touch the point here. Team D.Va will have reinforcements to be able to get in. The coalescence to keep people alive. Moth so far up and catches. He gets caught by the self-destruct from Super, playing the off-tank here alongside Poko. And Team Reinhardt looking good here. Danteh possibly about to double his esports earnings of all time with a tiny Overwatch victory. Space though gets the kill onto Danteh. The team captain perhaps, the driving force, the Doomfist here for Team Reinhardt is taken out, and the health doesn't look good on either side either. Shockwave desperately trying to land kills.
They turned it around.
Killed by the trap.
They turned it around, Sideshow.
They've only gone and turned it. And Jonathan, this game doesn't stop here. We're going even further. As Super put it earlier, his personal hell continues.
I mean, is it over though? I don't even know, because Team Reinhardt, they're turning around before the point is even capped. I don't know. It's just going back and forth. It's oscillating by the minute.
Danteh dies though, and that's the driving force, as we keep saying, for Team Reinhardt here. Crimzo falls as well. Soon though, captures a kill. He'll be able to waveform away, a little bit undestructible. Oh, the punch! Nice uppercut from Agilities as he is able to finish somebody off. The tire's still pretty big, but it doesn't catch anybody. They're too small, they're too slippery, and Team Reinhardt have got a couple of picks in this engagement. This overtime fight, it's gonna go long, but the advantage is definitely here in favor of Team Reinhardt. It is KDG's team, Coach KDG of the Philadelphia Fusion. He's coming with the tiny Overwatch strategies, and they seem to be working out. It's only Moth keeping this alive at the top of the point with one player towards the bottom. The skill orb takes down Moth. The Lucio for the San Francisco Shock just cannot stand up to the might of Kariv. As he, the might of Crimzo, sorry, as he is taken down. Agilities with a pick though. This overtime fight, it continues to go. FunnyAstro, he pumps the sound barrier. Jonathan, is this gonna be it?
This might actually be it. I don't even know whose advantage is this point. Loud noises, Sideshow, as McGravy finds 2 picks. Space has turned into a black hole, and I don't even know what is going. Chaos ensuing, left back and forth. I'm getting neighbor complaints during the cast because it's just gone on for so long. I might have to pay more rent this month. Who knows? Team D.Va turned it around. It's not over yet, Sideshow.
That is absolutely absurd. I haven't seen scenes like this since 1924 when ZP was playing a completely different title. McGravy comes in with the 4K, using his minds and booping people into them. Danteh, he's utilizing the space between where McGravy's spherical body touches the floor. He is tangentially finding his way underneath the luscious curves of McGravy's hamster body.
What does luscious mean?
They're finding a couple of kills. It means delightful, Jonathan. It means delectable, delicious, luscious, and delicious. Soon, though, finds a couple of kills. And Team Reinhardt, if they turn this, they are in a great position to win this 75 Gs.
Keyword if. I mean, who knows if they're going to turn it around at this point. They're just trying to beam him down. Crimzo on this Moira. He's dealt more damage in this round than the entire season overall. It's unbelievable.
Look at how big McGravy is. Those mines going everywhere. Surely that's the play that seals the deal for this fight, at least. A reset necessary here for Team Reinhardt as Poko runs himself into it. Danteh booped off the map. It's all down to this. How could it go any other way? An overtime fight for all the marbles. $75,000 and the title of the champions of All-Stars in 2020. Team Reinhardt, Team D.Va, this is for it all.
This is for it all indeed. Is Danteh going to double his Liquipedia esports earning? We will about to find out in this ridiculous round soon as the death plus. Is he going to drop it on top of all of these large bodies? The mech is gone. He actually drops it. He gets punched. He gets punched and it dropped it.
Moth, he's at 95% of his sound barrier. Can't quite hold on. It's only McGravy and Moth on the point at the moment. Moth, he needs to survive. He needs to be able to hold on here. And if he pops this beat, he's the only player left alive. The San Francisco Shock's main supporters coming clutch so many times this season before, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen now.
They've done it!
Team Reinhardt!
Double his esports earnings!
Team Reinhardt take the $75,000. Crimzo in the chat says, easy as star, star, star. Fitting for the All-Stars winner there as they roll their way forwards into a 2-1 victory. And Danteh, as you say, he wins $7,500 each, doubling his earnings of all time in what is a frankly ridiculous sentence that I didn't think I would ever utter. Tiny Overwatch once again delivering one of the best moments in Overwatch esports history, I've got to say.
Yeah. I mean, that was ridiculous. Make a documentary about it.
Heart palpitations, Jonathan. Heart palpitations.
Yeah. Same. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I went through like 3 Coke energies in the span of one map. Unprecedented. Unbelievable. I don't even know what to say. I mean, that was just spectacular, to say the least.
That's some of the highest level Overwatch I've ever witnessed in my entire life as an analyst,
certainly the biggest,
as a color contester. Yeah, I mean, the largest, the tiniest. It had the biggest moments. It had the smallest details. It had everything you could possibly want in terms of a finale for our Team All-Stars match over in North America. That was absurd. And what a great way to prepare Super, Moth, FunnyAstro, Poko, and all of the other players that are heading towards the grand finals representing North America. I'm sure this was the practice they absolutely needed 1 week out.
Yeah, and I mean, a shout out to the league. I'm just so happy as well that we get to take this time for the All-Star game. We're dealing out prize money, 75,000 total prize pool, and we just have so much competitive integrity with this game mode. You can truly see who is the better team with all of these tiny Overwatch models, the big Overwatch models. So many overtime just moments in this map overall. This is really when you come up clutch for your team as well. This is where you see who really has it when it matters most in these overtime pushes. I mean, this must be the longest Overwatch map of all time. Surely?
I mean, absolutely was. I'm losing my voice because of casting the longest overtimes of all time. Here's some highlights from the moments from Team Reinhardt as well. I mean, on a somewhat more serious and like fun-loving note, genuinely, I thought this was insanely entertaining, and that's what All-Stars is all about. It's a celebration of the game, and what could possibly sum up the absolute insanity and ridiculousness of Overwatch? I mean, in the most loving way possible, this game at times is just ridiculous. You know, there are moments that you would never get from any other esport, and Tiny Overwatch just takes it all to a billion. It just turns the dials up to 11.
I love this, and it was a pleasure to cast with you, Sideshow. We started off on Blizzard World, you know, standard competitive game mode. I had a good blast. I was, you know, trying to do some good analysis coming in, etc. And then we just delved into chaos.
Yeah,
and it was a good old time, so loved it.
It certainly was. Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure casting alongside you as well. Give some love, everybody out there, to the North American All-Stars players as well, especially those that are heading towards the grand finals coming up as well. Of course, earlier on in our North American All-Stars event, we saw the Widowmaker 1v1 championship as Linksa dominated that and was able to take down the Widowmaker afterwards as well in quick fashion. Earlier, of course, as well, just because I haven't had an opportunity to, going to take this time to gloat. I demolished Reinforce, took down Jonathan, main tank difference. I absolutely pummeled you. So, you know, check the VODs if you didn't catch it out, because it wasn't just Tiny Overwatch that was mind-bendingly good Overwatch that we saw so far over this weekend.
You didn't dominate me. I just blanked. No,
think I did.
We'll check the VOD. We'll check the VOD afterwards. We'll check the VOD.
Yeah.
No, we're going to analyze the talent takedown. This is unbelievable. False narratives. False narratives, people.
Yeah, and of course, thank you as well to the staff behind the Overwatch League too, who were able to put together such intriguing game modes too. I mean, if you were able to catch All-Stars happening over at APAC, they had Genji 1v1s happening, a weird but very interesting Winston 1v1 that I should have taken note of because my Primal Rage mechanics earlier in the talent takedown were absolutely horrific.
No, they're overrated. They're overrated, you know. You don't really need Primal Rage mechanics, you know?
Yeah.
You don't really need them. You just need to make space for the rest of your team and drop the shields and you can win tournaments.
Absolutely true. Do you think as well that this, the Coach of the Year going towards Moon, if he had been one of the coaches of these all-star teams, would we have seen some insane five-head strategies coming out? Is that perhaps, should Kuki have consulted with Moon to get some more advice on tiny Overwatch going on there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just hoping that, of course, we're going to see this game mode again next year in 2021 if there's an All-Stars event, because obviously this has been one of the highlights of the entire event, has just been these tiny Overwatch matches. So we're going to see the meta develop, we'll see the knowledge gain from this match. Obviously, Doomfist and Echo became two heroes that were really popular among these two teams. Taking that knowledge and then just pushing it to another level, pushing it in a different direction for 2021. We you never know what you're going to see here from Coach Moon. I mean, maybe you become like a great Ana and you throw like enormous biotic grenades that just cover the entire map. That's not really how it works, but it could. Who knows?
That's not at all how it works. Now, we are just waiting for an interview with Super to get set up here, the kind of eponymous team captain of Team Reinhardt that was coached by KDG and the victors of the North American All-Star Game. But Jonathan, while we get that interview set up, I've got a tough question for you here. Obviously, Super, Poko, FunnyAstro, they're coming off a win here in the All-Star Game. What kind of strategies can they take from their performance this weekend to head into the Grand Finals? What can they take away from this game and apply to their own match once they actually have to go up against the APAC teams?
I mean, there's definitely some overtime strats here to take notice of course, going into the Grand Finals event. I think, one advice could be to maybe shrink yourself, because that way you're harder to kill and you can stall longer on these opponents, as we saw, and give you that moment to really clutch up and come back in time and prolong some of these control runs. So maybe being able to stall out the point would be good. I don't think you would necessarily put Super on the off-tank role per se over Choyobin. I do think that it's quite good to do so in perhaps tiny Overwatch, but I wouldn't recommend it for the standard competitive play. We did see earlier in the map, of course, in the match we saw some dive compositions come out with Lucio and Moira. We saw some Lucio duels on Rialto overall. So I think there's a large variety of different strategies here that maybe they can explore going into the finals event.
Some incredibly interesting analysis of utter nonsense there. Thank you very much, Jonathan. And Play Overwatch has tweeted the code, by the way, for the workshop if you want to go out there and replicate, what we just saw there with the tiny Overwatch. But now it is time for our interview, the winner's interview with Super. We got him down on the floor, so let's take a listen to what he's got. I'm sure it's very spicy.
Joe, I'm going to be a wreck. Wow. I was just having a little chat to Super because I'm feeling adrenaline after that match. So Super, how are you feeling?
Oh man, that was, I don't even know what to say. That last map, it was a lot harder than it looks. I'll tell you that. It's a lot harder, a lot more stressful. We were like developing strategies mid-rounds, like to keep them alive longer so you could come back and win the fight. It's just, I'm feeling exhausted.
Tell me about the strategy. How did you find a strategy that stuck? What did you decide to do?
So first round, we were kind of just like messing around. We didn't really know what to do. And then the second round, we realized that if you can, because like you're so small, and then the bigger that they get, the harder it is for them to kill you because like your shots just don't register. So we were thinking, if we just keep stalling and getting them bigger and bigger, it'll be harder for them to hit us. And then when we finally want to win the fight, they'll be so big that it'll be easy for us to just wipe them fast. So then we did that a few times, and then that's just how we managed to win most of our fights. And then we tried to keep someone small purposely so that it was hard for them to get killed, and then we can come back and keep the cycle rolling. It's a very complex strategy.
Very complex. It seemed to involve you basically sitting in the middle of the plinth on the control center point. Is that what you're thinking was there? Because the casters were accusing you of tapping out. They were like, well, he's in the playoffs. He just wants to get ready for next week.
No, that was intentional.
So it was literally that.
There was a little like orb that you can like go through on top of the point, and then when you're like so big, it's so hard to see these small characters. So when you're like that tiny, you can almost like fit entirely in that little orb, and like they're so big they can't even see what's going on. That was intentional strategy.
It was a winning strategy. Can you let me know what Danteh's reaction was to the overall win? Because he found out that he revealed that his teammate Linksa actually doubled his Overwatch League earnings with one simple 1v1 Widowmaker battle, and you've just done it with the All-Stars talent match.
Yeah, Danteh, I think he actually said before the last map, he said that he wants to win because he doesn't win. So this one's for Danteh. I had to pull out all the stops for him. Shout out to you, Danteh. We pulled it home with some great teamwork and did it for him.
I do also want to ask about that overtime when you were in the garden, the first opening control point of that final map, because it was a very, very closely run thing, and of course D.Va managed to take it in the end. But that overtime, I think, maybe went on longer than some of the entire series did in the playoffs a couple of weeks ago. So how was the comms in that? Because our casters were losing their voices.
I mean, like I said, we didn't really have any strategy for that first round, so we were kind of just like, just keep stalling, do whatever. But then we kind of thought of the strategy because, like, on that map especially, the ball, when he's so tiny, I mean, he just rolls around. You can't find him. It's impossible. Like, he's like that. He's like that big. You can't do anything about it. So, we're just trying our hardest, and we lost. But then, once we figured out the strats, I think we kind of had a little bit more of a stronger grasp on what to do.
Well, you are in Korea. It's 9:30 a.m. I feel like this is probably the most money you've ever earned after just simply waking up in the morning.
Yeah.
So I feel like you've probably got
quite
the day ahead of you.
Yeah, I've been up since like 1:30 a.m. because we had to do the checks or whatever, and then I slept like 4 hours last night. I don't even know what's happening, but I won, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters.
You did, but are you gonna win next weekend? Because everything you've been working towards this year comes down to 4 days next weekend, and you're a reigning champion. The pressure's on.
I mean, I didn't quarantine for 2 weeks to lose, knock on wood, but that's what I gotta say.
Okay, so just give us a hint. How is the team feeling in the run up to the finals?
We're feeling pretty good. I think honestly, I feel rejuvenated now that I can actually like see people in real life and like touch them and like, have some freedom. So that feels a lot better. It gets me feeling more ready to go, and I think everyone else is feeling pretty confident. So looking forward to it.
Well, I do think you made Moth nervous in the show match, but hopefully you can now go give him a hug, maybe just a little consolatory. Is that the right word? Consolation. Listen, it's 1:35 a.m. in the UK. All right, there you go. Little consolation, pat on the back. Maybe buy him a burger or something. So, but thank you so much for entertaining us all thoroughly tonight, and good luck next weekend.
Thank you. Have a good one.
And thank you, you too. And for you guys watching at home, wherever you are in the world, we hope you've had a good one too, because that is it now for the All-Stars Weekender. There are just 4 days remaining of play in the Overwatch League 2020 season. Who is going to be raising that trophy? If you want to find out, well, you're going to have to come back here next week. But in the meantime, why don't you have a go at Tiny Overwatch yourself? If you follow us on social media, you'll be able to get all the details there because it's available as a workshop map. Maybe you could get a couple of casters to see if they can go even more high-pitched than the lovely Josh and Jonathan. I've been Frankie Ward. It's been an absolute pleasure being with you here. And Super, I believe we should help me say goodbye to the audience. Let's wave. We will see you next weekend for that grand final. Good night.